which might be a broken record, but might that have been Wilton Spade's best game? And could you talk about how he extended plays by sliding around the pocket when he needed to?
Yeah, that was statistically and just the eyeball. I mean, that's the best half of football I've ever seen a Michigan quarterback play. I think the statistics back that up. Yeah, moving and throwing and accuracy and extending plays, all the above. I don't know how you play better than Wilton did. I think there's one throw that it wasn't a great throw. That was it. You know, other than that, it was a perfect game as a quarterback. That's really tough to do.
David back here.
Oh, all the way in the back, Justin.
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
This team continuing to roll. How much more enjoyment do you get watching these guys as the season progresses and you see the execution as it is each and every week?
I enjoyed it a lot. I really felt that the week of practice that we had was outstanding. And then when you have a week like that where it seems better every week and the practices are really sharp and crisp, and you want to see that again on game day. You know, you feel like you're going to be, if you're good in practice, you're going to be good in the game. And I thought our guys were great in practice this week, and then they were great in the game. So I was get a lot of enjoyment from that.
Right here in the front, John.
Devion Smith went over 100 yards. I know you talk about liking how hard he runs. How did he look to you today?
He looked great. He really did. He was one of the big factors in our team's success. And we didn't punt again in the ball game. I don't know if we've done that before in the season, maybe one or two times. I know, but it was a big part was him. The yards he got after contact were real eye-opening, and he's so tough to get down. And 3 touchdowns. But extending drives and contributing. We had a lot of first downs today, and he contributed to that in a big way.
In the middle, Rachel.
Clearly the scoreboard reflected, but what was that like for you to coach against DJ Durkin, your former defensive coordinator? What were the emotions that went into it?
The normal emotions. Definitely a friend. Watch what he's done at Maryland. He's doing a fantastic job, and what he did for us. I mean, what he did for our football team. I mean, he was a great contributor to our ball club.
In the front right, Coach Nick.
Hey, Joe. Did you guys want to get JU going early in this game? Was that a plan at all, or was that just him making the step?
It was just him making things happen, and there wasn't a plan to feed JU. But it's been a really interesting dynamic. I would say this. I mean, here's the greatest share of it. Really is. I thought there were a time last year when JU was playing great. Amara became the beneficiary of that in games last year, and then Amara would have a big game. So it's probably no coincidence. Amara's been doing some great things. Last week had a big game, 11-catch game, and over 100 yards, and then JU becomes the beneficiary of that. So it's a real luxury, to have 2 great receivers like Amar Darboh and JU Chesson. So I think that's the biggest factor.
Coach, all the way over on your left here, Rodney.
Coach, speaking of receivers, you have a tight end by the name of Jay Buck. He broke a record today.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Everybody in the locker room was really happy for Jake's Buck's success. Team gave Jake a game ball after the game, and you're talking about Kramer and Mandich, Caddis, some tremendous tight ends that have come through here. I know I'm leaving some out, but most catches, most yards in the history of Michigan football for a tight end is a great accomplishment. So.
Jim, back when you were playing, and even before, it was sometimes capable for a team to have this kind of a score differential. It happened a lot with Bo's teams. It happened to some degree later on, but really, during this era of college football, the lopsidedness hasn't been as much of a characteristic. Given that, for you to have a few games like this season, today and some earlier scores, what does it tell you? How gratified can you be by that?
Well, I mean, when you look at it, the execution was so high on the offensive side of the ball. That's the players. That's the guys that are out there doing it. And you have to, deserves recognition, deserves, pat on the back. I mean, they're the ones that are doing it. So that's what I would say to the offense. Also, the defense. Again, a stop inside the 10-yard line. I mean, that's great defense. Not allowing them to be in until they're in. I think it's a great quality of a defense. They hit a long screen play, and it was down inside the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, and then we make the tackle on the 2 or 3 yard line, I believe, and then they're not in until they're in. That mentality, playing on their side of the line of scrimmage with multiple, double-digit tackles for losses, I believe, turnovers, and very, very stout defense against two quality running backs, really good running backs that Maryland has, and you throw in the special teams, I thought executed well. Kenny Allen, his when he was hitting the field goals, hitting the kicks, he was hitting them with some force and balls turning over end. It was, that phase was very good too. Punted well, he kicked off well, we covered decent. We could be more tenacious in our cover game. I would just credit the players, Lynn. They're the ones that put in the work. They're the ones that you go out there and play on Saturdays.
Directly in front, in the middle.
Defending wide receiver screen was a little bit of an issue today, but throwing vertically, it was pretty much impossible again. What has most impressed you about Jordan and Channing on the outside defending those?
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, they play their technique as good as you can play the deep ball right now, and they're in great position when you see the ball in the air and you check back to see what the leverage is like with the corner and the wide receiver on the go routes, and you feel good. You feel like they're playing it as well as they can play it, and they get their eyes back to the ball. They both have good ball skills, and they're doing an excellent job. I don't know what else there is to say, but they're improving, and it's important to them. They want to be good at it, and that's probably the number one thing. You don't want to get beat deep when you're a corner, and they do it. They do it time and time again from the press coverage. It's the most vulnerable position for a corner to be in when defending a go route or a deep pass. A straight 9 route is from that press leverage, press circumstances, and time and time again they defend it as well as you can defend it. So it's been good for us.
Coach in the middle on the right.
Coach, you've said in the past that you hope Peppers gets Heisman consideration. As we know, there's kind of a little bit of a bias maybe in the voting towards flashy offensive stats. And the game today had a few good runs on offense as well, but I'm wondering if you ever feel an obligation or a temptation to try to feature him in flashy offensive plays for that purpose.
Well, I mean, it's just happening organically, right? I mean, it's just happened al natural with Jabril Peppers because he does so much. He does. He's making tackles from the linebacker position. He's blitzing. He's covering. He's returning kicks, returning punts. He's playing quarterback. He's playing receiver. He's playing tailback. He's so involved that it's it doesn't have to be a forced thing. It's al natural. And you might also want to look at the quarterback too. considering his, where does he rate? The way he's been playing all season. Maybe it's time to throw his hat into the ring.
Coach, we'll come all the way up to the front here, Chris.
Coach Drake Harris is starting to get targeted a little bit more. Has he elevated his game in practice, and did you think that that was a good call on the push-off there?
No, I didn't think it was a good call because I've watched all the games that I've watched this year, and something like that's never been called. I didn't think he changed the direction of the defender. I didn't think he pushed off the defender. And the other one was, I'm bewildered by Chris Evans's non-touchdown. I don't understand it. I don't know what ruling they're leaning back to say that wasn't a touchdown. He seemed to be clearly inside the pylon. What does it take? You have to kick the pylon. You have to touch the pylon with the ball. Now to score a touchdown, the ball breaks the plane of the goal line. It's a touchdown. The goal line extends past the out of bounds. From everything I've ever been told, and the explanation is, well, he didn't get a foot inbounds into the end zone. And to me, it's breaking the plane. That's what I've always been taught. I mean, there's a lot of times where running backs jump over the pile. They bump over the top. The ball just breaks the plane, and they get pushed back, and it's called a touchdown. They didn't have a foot into the end zone or a body part that was in the. So I don't know. It offends my football sensibility in all ways that wasn't a touchdown.
And then Drake's just
because he made such a great play.
Yeah.
Chris makes such a valiant effort, on the play. Tremendous catch and run, a circus catch, and then a tremendous run in the open field and through traffic, and into the end zone for the apparent score, and he doesn't get rewarded with that. That offends I think that would offend the football guys as well. I think they would be offended by that. And a great catch by Drake as well. I mean, that was one great catch, and he continues to work extremely hard, and contributed last week in the Michigan State game. Ran a tremendous route, and pass interference was called, and he wasn't rewarded again this week. Got grabbed last week and didn't get a chance for the touchdown catch, and then he made a circus catch this week, and it didn't stand. So, but very pleased that so many guys are working so hard at this to be good and onward. We talked about it after the game. We'll enjoy it for amount of time, but the amount of time needs to get shorter and shorter and quicker, moving on to the next game and as we go down the stretch.
Got time for a couple more. We'll start in the middle. Adam.
Jim, you've talked about Kakko a little bit earlier in the year, and it seems like it's blocking. I remember last year when you were talking about Maurice Ways being the best blocking receiver on the team. I guess, what have you seen on Kakko just as the physical, not so much the athletic part, his physicality? And then the second question would be just your thoughts on Mo Hurst, pretty active game. He's been very good for the past 2 seasons.
Yeah. And you're getting good too, Adam. Your questions are you're an ascending reporter, I gotta tell you. You're doing a good job. You really are. Kakko is, as you point out, his block, he's one of our better blockers. As just a freshman, and he's gotten into the game and gotten opportunities because of his willingness and his ability to block. And it's great to see at the end of the game, the last quarter, there were a lot of young players playing on both sides. And he made one of the best catches I think I've seen all year from Kakko Crawford. It was outstanding. Mo Hurst continues to, he's so light on his feet for a big guy. It's really, it really shows up time and time. Again, he is not a plotter. He's a big guy, but he is not, he is not a guy that's a mutter. He's got some real grace and agility for a big man, and pursues, runs. And the keep showing up game after game. I mean, there's Mo Hurst making another play, so, yeah, two ascending players.
Coach,
Good.
on the left here, Dan Murphy.
More sorry, Coach. You mentioned the they're not in until they're in philosophy against
Yeah.
the defense. What is it that allows a couple of goal line stands the past few weeks? What gets those guys to stiffen up when they get down there inside the red zone?
Well, you know that, first of all, it's one of the hardest places to score from, you know, inside the 10-yard line, inside the 5-yard line. You know, the percentages to, you know, just pick up a yard when you're 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. I mean, they're not, 4th and 1 at the 1-yard line to you know, get that score is not much over 50%. It's in the NFL, you know, win percentages, score percentages, 3rd and 1's the same. It's a tough thing to do as an offense to score, you know, from inside the 5-yard line. So there's that, and you know that you know, just get them down. They're not in until they're in, and you know, you don't just, you know, you don't give in, and that's what you saw on the two plays really where we stopped them right before the half as time expired, and the screen pass that we eventually stood, and they missed the field goal. Yeah, they're not in. You just don't give in until they're in mentality.
Last question on your right was Nick.
Jim, you mentioned you want celebrations after wins to get shorter and shorter just a minute ago. Is that like act like you've been there before, or is that it's only harder from here at this point in the season? Why do you say that?
It just seems to me to be the thing to do, right thing to do as you're going down the stretch. Yeah, they do get tougher, and there's things that, you know, that aren't always, you know, you don't always have time to practice. Well, put it this way, it's further you are away from training camp, you know, from the time where you're really, I mean, we're teaching ball security every day. You're teaching tackling and fundamentals, and you know, realizing this is college football, that you know, only have 20 hours to work with in a week, and sometimes you know, just you can't afford to celebrate too long, you know. And if you were to take, we'll celebrate on Sunday, and Saturday night, and then Sunday, and then Monday, you know, still feeling good. We're not playing again until Saturday, and then you know, Tuesday, Wednesday can be tough practices, and you know, trying to get through those. And all of a sudden it's Thursday, and we're playing a game in 2 days. So we're going to celebrate all wins, but you know, understanding that ball game comes quick by the next Saturday, and we need the preparation time. And the way our guys prepared this week, I'm really pleased. They did that. They did that after the last ball game. You know, we kind of made a commitment all together. Let's not celebrate this too long. Let's get ready for the ball game that's coming on Saturday. And a great week of preparation, and then they played really well in the game. So.
All right.
Okay.